fulfillment of claim. Claim for what? For Yahweh's name, not for political claim. I'm not claiming royal status here for political gain. I'm claiming royal status because of my talent, that the God I serve, Yahweh, the God of the Hebrew Israelite people, that only Great Britain and the king of Spain, the nation, the rulers of Spain, the rulers of and the powers and the kings of this world, who know the history behind the black man and the black representing the black seed of great men like King Azana, great men like Imhotep, great men like the Amen, the great God. You see, all of us human beings, black and white, are little G-O-D. Now, the issue here in respect to the capital G-O-D, I give that right to some people, or when I say some people, pardon me, some names, I beg your pardon, Holy Spirit of the Most High God, who sits in Zion. And according to Ecclesiastes 3:11, God has set eternity into my heart, into the hearts of black or white who accepts it. So this conversation here, and why Brother Jones, a Jones from Pinefield Acklands, one of the islands in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. We have 7 other islands that Queen Elizabeth, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, would have and still today have sovereign reigning sovereign. Even though we are independent, we still recognize Her Majesty the Queen as reigning sovereign. That is because the person who this nation would have known from the day of my grandfather, the president of this book, he was elected by these people who makes up the association. And one of the men in here, 2 of the men in here outside of my grandfather is Loftus Roca, father, Elkin Roca, and a man called Clifford Bain, just to name a few, outside of Brother Loftus Roca. His father would represent him back in these days, okay? Because he would then be a young man doing school to do. Today, the Bahamian people is proud of him. Brother Jones, I mean you no harm, sir, but the record must be set. I know you're a great man. I mean you no harm. And if I would have become off course to you, sir, I humbly ask your forgiveness, nationally and internationally, but I must press forward. So these are the names, world, of the Bahamian people who signed their name to this, signed their names, different, every island in the Bahamas have, for example, let me use Pine Acklands, where I'm from, my mother and father. Their parents are from Acklands, and their parents are from Acklands, all the way up. The Miller House would then be considered one of the oldest name, okay, that the people would recognize at that time, because before in these days there was no government of the Bahamas. It was like pirates. It was modern day piratising, where Great Britain, the royal family, allow certain interests, white minority interests in the country, to govern and lord over the people. Then came 1967, and we'll do a tape about that. This is rectifying the hereditary, unknown and undocumented part of the royal history. You see, history was taught in respect to 67, 73, from 73 to this day, the 1st of May 2013, months away, May, June, July. You have like 2 months and about 10 days to be exact before this nation celebrates 40 years as a sovereign, independent, democratic state. Let's put it in alphabetical order. A democratic, independent, sovereign state. And then we could add drop country in there, but we know we get the point. The point here is, in 1965, around that time, these people signed a document to uphold a principle and to look after one another. Everyone understood what they were doing. Mothers and parents were signing these books. This was not church stuff. These were the brothers and the sisters, and who were brothers and sisters in church, family members, but they're coming in, creating an association and an organization, and that would be known as a lodge. Okay, and what I'm saying is, I'm 43. The 2nd of June, the Queen Elizabeth, from the day she was crowned, the 2nd of June, 1953, to the 2nd of June, 2013, would make 60 years. And before that day came, that royal home, the House of Windsor, okay, must recognize the house of His Majesty Amos Israel. Why? Because the nation leaders who my house entrusted certain principle, godly principle, have erred. And in that 40 years, we as a nation have erred, and myself and others have upheld a certain sacred principle. And on these grounds, Yahweh justified these records to be authentic and relevant and necessary, absolutely necessary, to come to light today. My name is Amos Junior Miller by birth. My father, Renfred Miller, is 70 years of age today. My mother will celebrate in July 68 years. Minus, if you add the 8 that is on my mother's house number 8. You can find me. I'm not hiding from anyone. Yahweh's spirit is with me. I am the royal son that was hid from the people, but known by at least 3 men who held political office in the country. Thus, the cabinet have to be a part of such secret. Which house would be worthy, of such great honor? My grandfather sailed the high seas. He was in the war in 1942, in the Second World War. Came back from the war. He founded, one of the men that found this. The names are here. So we got here the minutes. Okay? Snoqualmie Acklands, June 2nd. Snoqualmie Acklands, June 22nd, 1971. Okay? Got the minutes, and it goes all the way back from 71 up to some modern times, I'm sure. Now, that's good enough for me, because that's the minutes, and we can read it. We can hear how these people, were interested in respect in that day and time, and who was sick, who in need, or who died because of bad treatment that they were experiencing back then in 71, 1 year and 20 days after my birth. Okay? They were experiencing hardship. And I'm saying to the people, I'm 43 now. From the time this took place, 71, to now. All right? It's a difference of 39 years. Okay? Am I right? No. Yeah. 39, pardon me, 42 years. Okay? 42. Now, either which way, if you add the 3 plus 9, that's 12. So that we'd be wrong there. So, from 71 to 2013, it's 42 years. I'm 42 right now, turning 43. Whatever the years are, the bottom line is, I have taken the time to do my best to try and educate myself. Because in 1978, 76, 77, between 76, in 1977, between 76 and 78, my second oldest brother was killed. I was then taken from Pinefield, Acklands, from the home of the president. Okay, he would have then been Mr. President, then in their system, the Grand Master, a 33 degree. All right? All right? This is the minutes. I can read to the people. And these are the great names that I honor. I honor these people because they're dead. They cannot come back. In the courts, they say the dead man cannot tell no tale. So, what they did, they wrote their name and they left minutes and records for me to explain. I was never supposed to make it this far in life. I have a stab wound in the center of my head. Stab wound here on my left and right shoulders. Punctured lungs and scraped spine. 2 stab wounds to the back. Stab wound to the right leg, gunshot to the left. Either which way, these people knew the power of the Miller name. Willis Miller was able to influence 3 islands to flow with him, plus our family in Maguana on my mother's side. The island was influenced, and I'm here to say, we didn't have no government then. The people was fighting these people in respect to 1976 and this book. Okay? D.E.B. Debritz, Peerage, and Baronetage, 1976. Knight, Frank, and Rutley. Debritz, Peerage, and Baronetage, 1976. Yeah, it's the crown. And you open the book, you have a whole lot of different orders. This is a book about a whole different lot of orders and family, coat of arms, and crest, and the whole stuff and who was who in London from the dawn of time during the years, years leading prior to these records. And I'm saying now, in addition to these records, the church. So here's the names of the Bahamian people what signed. Okay, every human being would live on Acklands with Paul. Signed. Everyone who signed was Paul. Her Majesty the Queen were lauding and still lauding. And I'm saying, it is now time for reparation for this house. Only me one can ask for that. Because I was the child born to express this to you if you failed to live up to your agreement of 1973. I'm here. I was born 3 years prior. Okay? The 3 years represents Yahweh, his son, and his daughters, the black race. The Yeshua, 3 in 1. And the Son is in the Father. And the Father and the Son and the Father is one. When a man take on his wife, her and the man become one, creating family. Thus, no debate in the country of the Bahamas in respect to same-sex marriage. Y'all can debate as much as you want and lie to these people and lie to them every day until The number man bring all of his money and wealth and power and back this voice. Then what y'all will do? Until city market, lawyers and attorneys, and the attorneys, especially the senior lawyers, because every last one of them Bahamas knew all of this, I'm telling y'all. This is new news to me. Thanks to a former politician and a businessman who said, Amos, when I started to question him, he said, Amos, I'm a businessman. So as far as I'm concerned, he was telling me it was about business. So don't hold him to, all right? So today, I said before the Bahamian people, all right? The truth. If you want your country back, you must put your stock behind what was hid from you. What was hid from you is no different from what was taken. Now, the natural resources of this country would cause every Bahamian to live like kings. My family record and history. So you got the minutes. You got the names. You got the names of the Bahamian people, okay? You got the names. These are some of the names and how they wrote them. I'll have to explain because they go in different settlements, okay? When you go to Auckland. All right? And like I said, you got the association minutes. The book need to be protected. Okay? It's an old book. I love this book. I gave my life for this. All right? So that's your minutes. Now in here is what proves that any man, any one of the sons of the president at the time, he was president. Okay? He had 4 sons, 2 inside at the time and 2 out. The 2 in is what's relevant here. One of which was my father. Both of them has disappointed the spirit in respect to parentage. However, I'll leave that right there and get back to that on another tape. 1971, Brother Willis Miller, page 1, dues, fines, taxes. January 5th, $1, February 2nd, and it goes all the way down to December 7th, $1. This is of 1971. Then you got 1972, January, $1, all the way down. Each month they paid $1, what would be dues, okay? And then you got here 1970.